I realized that nothing in life truly matters unless you're willing to take risks. As Nelson Mandela once said, there's no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. Now, I'm sure that during your journey, whether it was through school, applying to colleges, choosing your major, or deciding what to do with your future, people have told you to always have a backup plan. They've said, make sure you have something to fall back on. But I've never really understood that idea of having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back, I want to fall forward. That way, at least I'll be able to see what's ahead of me. Without consistency, you'll never reach the finish line, so do what truly excites you. Take chances, don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test with 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines connecting them without lifting your pencil. The only way to succeed was to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to fail big and dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his baseball career, more than anyone in history. But you don't hear about his strikeouts, you remember the home runs. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times in his experiments, but did you know that the 1,001st attempt was the light bulb? Every failed attempt is one step closer to success. You have to take risks, and I'm sure you've heard that before. But I want to share with you why it's so important. You will fail at some point in life. You will lose, you will embarrass yourself, and you'll struggle with something. There's no way around it. And while this might not sound like the typical graduation speech, embrace it, because failure is inevitable. In the acting world, failure happens all the time. Early in my career, I auditioned for a Broadway role that was perfect for me, except I couldn't sing. I didn't get the part. But I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of that audition and prepared for the next one and the one after that. I prayed, I kept failing, but I kept going. And you know what they say, if you hang around a barber shop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut. So I caught my break. Last year, I performed in Fences on Broadway, at the very same theater where I failed that first audition 30 years ago. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed, but the question is, do you have the courage to fail? If you're not failing, you're not even trying. To get something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Imagine that on your deathbed, you look around and see the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential, the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used. And those ghosts are angry, upset that you could have brought them to life, but now they must go to the grave with you. So I ask you, how many ghosts will be surrounding you when your time comes? I just returned from South Africa, a beautiful country, but there are places struggling with extreme poverty that need help. And South Africa is just the beginning. There are places in the Middle East, Japan, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Philadelphia that need your help. The world needs a lot, and it needs it from you. We need young people to step up, because let's face it, some of us up here are getting a bit grayer. We need you to give everything you've got, whether that's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your resources. What are you going to do with what you have? It's not about how much you have. Some of you have money, some have patience, others have kindness, love, or the gift of perseverance. Whatever your gift is, what will you do with it? Lastly, let me tell you something about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I started at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis, which I couldn't even pronounce or pass. So I switched to pre-law, then journalism, and ended up with a 1.8 GPA. The university politely suggested I take some time off. I was 20, at my lowest point. But one day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop when an older woman, who was considered one of the town's elders, said something that changed my life. She told me, "Young boy, I have a spiritual prophecy. You will travel the world and speak to millions of people." And in the years that followed, just as she predicted, I've spoken to millions through my movies. But it wasn't just about the movies. It was about the opportunity to connect with people, to be seen, to be heard, and to make a difference. I see young people today, and I'm encouraged and strengthened by what I see. Taking risks isn't just about going after a job. It's about knowing what you know, what you don't know, and being open to people and new ideas. The people you meet, the chances you take, the faith you have, this is what will define you. So never be discouraged, never hold back. Give everything you've got, and when you fall, remember this: fall forward.